Alright, welcome back to the channel everybody. My name is Steven Aldaco. Today we have a super exciting video for you all. We're going to take a tour of my buddy's Ford Transit camper van. All right, your van is sick, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, so what is the purpose of the van?
So I built this van out just so I can go out climbing for a little bit longer. I spent about 7 years sleeping in the bed of my truck, going out on climbing trips. And it was a little bit of a process because all my climbing gear was in the back of the truck, like open and exposed. And every time I had to sleep at night, I would actually have to take all my gear out, sleep in the bed, and then when I wake up in the morning, like get all my stuff and throw it back into the truck, and then get in the truck and then leave. The van was the obvious choice.
Well, on that note, maybe you can show us how your climbing setup is now to keep everything safe.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's hop in the back and I could show you the garage. So this is my garage. All storage and everything. So I have the main big pull-out drawer. It goes about 3.5 feet deep. Holds most of my climbing gear, ropes. This is actually a detachable exterior awning that I use outside for the van. I didn't really want to bolt anything onto the exterior that I wouldn't need like constantly. So, I mean, I've had the van for what, 2 years now, and I've used this moon awning maybe 3 times in that entire time. So, you know, so I have that. One thing I did want to do is have a backyard porch, so to speak. So I have this fold down tailgate, and it you know, it's dual purpose, holds everything in while I'm driving, but as well as, you know, gives me a good seating area on the back. Probably rated to, I think, 900 or 950 pounds of people, so I could easily fit 3 people on here and hold all of them. So when I'm outdoors climbing, I have my crash pad storage like right up on the side, and then obviously I have a bigger cubby space, so I have at least one of my ropes in here, sits all the way in back for, you know, big storage. I have my Mr. Buddy heater right over there, and then like a double burner that I use every once in a while. So the other thing I use the tailgate for is with the double burner. If I want to cook outside, I just kind of set it out on here. And then I have these 2 cubbies with the fold downs. So I'm able to, you know, if I'm cooking here, I could keep my spices or whatever ingredients I have just like right up top as extra shelving. It kind of makes everything nice and easy along the back.
Man, this is so nice. This is so nice. And then looks like the framing might be aluminum. Is that?
Oh no, this is steel, like 1 inch. I think it's 18 gauge steel, cold rolled steel. I used to build furniture when I was in architecture school, so I learned a lot of the woodworking and metalworking there. So I figured steel is much lighter than the wood, so I could build out my whole bed frame is made out of steel. So one, it's lighter and it's also stronger, and you know, if I could use 1 inch tubes, then yeah, I take up much less space than like a 2x4 or something.
Is that something that you kind of show on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, actually 24 videos that are going to be posted onto my YouTube channel showing the full build process. I have about 10 or 12 up right now.
Make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link down below in the description.
I repurposed these lights. So those lights are the stock lights that come with the van when you buy them. It usually comes with 4 and they're super bright. So I mean, I just have a little switch out there, lets you turn them on, and then I also have a 12-volt plug in here. This connects to my house battery and not the van battery. And speaking of power, I could pull these guys out, and you can see going into the back, that's my full electrical system. I have 200 amp hours of gel, 200 watts of solar on the roof, and I have a battery to battery charger as well. So main charging happens while I'm driving, and then I have my solar panels to keep my my battery's topped off while I'm parked. I obviously went for a fixed bed because the garage storage was a necessity for me for all my climbing gear. And plus, it's just easier for me to get to a spot like late at night and then just jump in the bed without having to change everything out. Put it up where it's lifted up, and you can see it in the original videos of my van while I build it up. There are pockets built into the side of the van. That's where the stock windows are supposed to go when you have the passenger van. So I actually have the bed lifted up and then pushed out into there. So that gives me somewhere around, like, I think 70 inches sleeping with, going sideways onto the van. Also added on the cushioned headboards, and then there's inch of insulation like right behind it, so everything kind of stays warm. I also added on a small camping window, or small van window onto the side, just so I could get air circulation over the bed through the roof vent right up top.
What kind of fan is this?
This is the Max fan.
Nice.
So, I know it's kind of like van life standard, right? So a lot of guys have that one. Other than that, I just have small, cubbies up top with clothing storage. Since I built this van for like climbing trips, my main duration that I was designing for was 7 days. I wanted to be able to stay out and be out climbing without having to come back into civilization for 7 days. So the amount of storage that I have in the van should be able to hold, 10, 12, 2 weeks worth of clothing, just in case. Probably something to take in consideration if you're considering making a van. So, 4 things there, and then I have little tchotchke shelves along the back just to hold the cell phone or whatever else I need to do at night.
So you did all of this yourself. Did you get any help?
No, I did have help. So I lied. I did have help in one portion when I installed the window on the slider. I just needed my friend to hold it up from the outside while I screwed it in from the inside. But everything else there I've done by myself, solo.
It's beautiful craftsmanship, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's beautiful.
So, kitchen setup. Obviously, this is just the main galley. Back here, I have what I call my linen closet. It has adjustable shelving, so I could kind of, change it as needed for whatever I need to store. Back in this area, I have pantry stuff. So I have like little boxes, things that I could store. More shelving up top. Down here with this lock is where I keep all the heavy goods. So I have a 7-gallon drinking water in here, pots, pans, and all the whatnot for cooking. Drawer that appears in many of the vans. I mean, I have, electrical cables, stuff for my lighters and towels, electric chargers, and, a couple napkins here and there. Storage things in vans, you kind of need to take care of like every square inch you have. So obviously up here I have, my utensils and things that I need every once in a while, but then this also slides back. So then I have like all access to my spices, all my cooking utensils, spatulas, knives, and whatever. And then, just basic melatonin, if I need to pass out really quickly on the thing. So, but yeah. And then all you have to do is just close that, and then it resets the countertop, or the little sliding drawer. So up top I have my sink, which has the removable cutting board. Also has I think they call this like a veggie strainer or something, but I usually just throw my dishes into this so it drains and it cleans out as it's drying. And it's a pretty deep sink. Goes about 10 inches deep. I think it's 10 inches by 11 wide and 14 going in this direction. But yeah, having a deep sink in a van is very nice. I would recommend. This sink didn't come with a built-in soap dispenser. Not having to worry about having a dish soap storage somewhere in the van where you have to reach down and grab it all the time is nice. It's one less thing to roll around while you're driving. So if you're building, highly recommend.
What I like about these ones is because you can is this one you can pivot around and just
yeah,
hose yourself off basically?
Yeah, I've taken a couple showers outside, so I have that, and then You know, just kind of spray myself off outside as I need it. So, you know, just typical van things. You need to take advantage of all the space that you have. Having things convert is really, really nice. So my bench kind of does three things in one. There's, you know, enough seating for 2 people, but then I also have a removable panel on this side, which gives me access to all my electrical stuff if I need to do some fuse work or whatever, if I need to turn off a system. But then I also have a pull-out thing for like my dirty clothes hamper. Another like one of those things that you know, people don't really think about when they're building the vans. So that has that, and that closes off. Another thing that I can do with the van is the back actually lifts up. And then it lifts up, and then I actually have a countertop space. And I do have like task lighting over the top of it, just in case I need it. And then this thing is actually really, really strong. Like I could easily just kind of like lift myself up onto it, and it's fine. So
what's on top? Like what is this?
So this is just a thin sheet of stainless steel over the top of plywood. It was the thinnest and lightest solution I could think of for a countertop, and that's something that's like super, super durable. Above that, I have all the storage for my dishes. I built all these little like slots and stuff just to keep everything in place. I have everything lined with like non-slip drawer liners, but it actually doesn't make much noise while I'm driving. You'd think that like all the glass would rattle around and then you'd hear it, but there really isn't much. Usually this is where I throw like bread, cereal, snacks, things like that.
Do you have any like refrigeration?
I do. So I have this is the Isotherm 49. So it's a 49 liter fridge. Opens up. It holds, actually it's pretty small, but it holds a lot of food. I was able to fill this up for a 10-day trip up to Yellowstone, and had enough food to feed 3 people. So that, and also has like this mini freezer. I don't use it all that much, but you know, it's nice to have every once in a while. So this is my main burner. It's a single burner stove that kind of lifts out on a tray, and then I have usually keep 3 pounds of propane on me, and then I have a jet boil, just, you know, more efficient way to boil water. I have more storage underneath the bench. Very important for anyone that has a van. The fire extinguisher and emergency kit. Always have that going with you. And then usually this is my dog's drawer, so anytime we go somewhere, I usually just throw all of her gear into this drawer, as well as some GoPro stuff.
All right, let's check out the captain's quarters.
All right. Up front, I do have the swivel seats on the driver and the passenger side. I went with Scopema for the seat mounts. They are the most expensive ones you can get. I think the passenger runs like $380, $400, and the driver's side runs like at $450 or so. They are pretty expensive, but they are the lowest profile that you can actually get. So the base bracket actually only lifts the seat up by like 3/4 of an inch, and the driver's seat actually comes with a modification bracket that takes your parking brake and actually shifts it down. That way the seat can rotate over the top of it and not actually hit it. Stock wise, it actually sits up a little bit higher, so then it doesn't allow the seat to rotate. Fold up table right behind the driver's side. You know, if I ever do any remote work for all the stuff that I do, if I need to sit in on meetings, I usually have a setup here, or I do a little setup over the bench. Lagoon table mount, I actually made it so that I have an extension on the countertop. So like I kind of said before, I do most of my cooking outside, but if it's raining or if it's super, super windy, I'll usually set this up, and then I could actually take my single burner and then just kind of set it up here, and then the propane goes on top, and then, you know, I just have full cooking area. And then this becomes, you know, a table for anyone sitting in the passenger seat. But also, if we have more food, then I just swing that way. Then I could actually swing it, and then it actually works for the driver and the passenger seat.
That's incredible, dude. You've like really dialed it in, man.
Yeah. So this is, you know, that's there.
And this is the factory storage up here, yeah?
So yeah, so this is factory storage here. Extra storage up top, which I don't mind, and then this thing's strong. So I'm actually able to just, hang from it, no problem. A fingerboard. So, I could just hang and get my fingers warmed up before I head out on a climbing trip. Usually, sometimes the crag doesn't have anything for me to warm up on, and it's all just like hard stuff, so I hang from there. Every once in a while, I'll get my fingers warm.
Alex Honnold who?
Yeah, right. Yeah. He actually has a better one than I do. So.
I've seen it. Yeah.
So on the outside of the van, kitchen cabinet. Obviously, here's all my stuff for my dog. Big thing. If you're ever traveling with your dog, make sure that they're safe and they're harnessed in. Every time she rides with me, she has that body harness, and I actually have a tether for her that clips onto that, and this is anchored into the seat. So that way, if anything happens, she's safe and she won't really go flying anywhere. Above that, this is actually where I do most of my cooking. So I have an outdoor table that gives me very, very quick access to my water system. Having the sink at the slider door was very, very intentional because I wanted to be able to bring my clean water and my dirty water in and out of the van without having to drag it inside and out every single time I needed to do it. So this just gave me super quick access for everything that I needed to do.
What are you most proud of in this van?
So one of the things I'm most proud of, and a lot of people seem to like the most, is the ceiling in the van. I kind of went through a bunch of sketches on trying to figure out how to do this nicely. So the way this actually works is I could actually unscrew 2 of these black strips, and then I'll be able to pull out one of the panels for the ceiling without having to take the entire thing off. So I think it looks great and I love it, but 2, it just functions so well.
What advice do you have to other people who might be looking to get a van?
Biggest thing is to take your time. There's a lot of people that I see that buy vans and then they sprint at it and they build it out in 4 weeks, 7 weeks, 3 months or whatever. I built this van out over a year and a half. So I built it in phases where I would build the floor and the bed, and then I took it out on a trip. Then I would build the bench and the cabinets, and I would take it out on a trip. I built it out in stages, that way I could actually figure out exactly what I needed and exactly what I actually take on a trip, so I knew what to build for. You get the other people who build it right away, and then you always see them a year or 2 later going to version 2 of their van because they need to change it to fit their lifestyle, or they have things here and there that they want to change.
So why did you end up going with the Ford Transit, and are you happy with your choice?
So I ended up going with the Ford Transit because I wanted a rear wheel drive van on dirt roads a lot, not the best traction, and in my mind, if I lose traction while driving in a front wheel drive car, I also lose traction while steering. So I just don't have anything to control the van with, and I went with the Ford because it's more affordable than the Mercedes, and I could actually get the Ford serviced in many more places than the what's it called?
Sprinter.
Yeah, Sprinter van. In this van, I have I think it's 5'7", 5'7.5", 5'8", of clear standing height. So anyone in that height can pretty much stand up in the van without having to worry.
There's something with the pillows.
Oh yeah. Obviously, I have little throw pillows, but when you zip them open, this is actually an extra blanket that I have here. And then this one is also my rumple blanket. So it's an easy way to get storage into the van without actually having to take up more space inside your cabinets.
All right, Anthony, thanks so much for showing us around your van. And remember, guys, he's got detailed videos on his YouTube channel, so make sure to show him some love. I'll leave a link right here and down in the description. And of course, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also make sure to share it with anybody who might be interested in this kind of video. Other than that, you guys take care. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
See ya.